What's up, guys? Reporting to you from the 360, the beautiful Pacific Northwest here. In this video, I want to tell you why I believe that vaccine fraud is going to be the end of the medical industrial complex. And we're already beginning to see that unraveling take place. And that's what I want to discuss with you today. Now, the vaccine issue is probably one of the ones that's nearest and dearest to my heart for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, I have a 4-year-old. I have a little guy. So vaccines, I've had to have that fight before with him, and not fun. It's not fun. So I've had to know the issue very well. Second of all, it was one of the first issues that really began my awakening experience. And that first started about 6 years ago when I got a job at a local supplement store, which I actually ended up dropping out of college for because I found that indoctrination system we have was no longer resourceful to me. So I ended up working at this health food store, and it was an extremely conscious health food store. It was not your average kind of health food supplement place. And I learned all about GMOs, learned all about vaccines, fluoride, holistic health, natural cancer cures, all of that. And then my mind then went down all the other rabbit holes going on our planet from there. So vaccines is just, I've been in it a long time. I've had to know it very personally. So it's a big issue I'm all about. And I'm all about health because it is of my opinion that if we don't know how to take care and love ourselves, we're not going to know how to take care and love the world, right? As within, so without. Sharing health information is another big passion of mine, along with sharing information about what's going on with the collective. Now, the reason why I think vaccines are going to be that end-all be-all for our big pharma sick care system that we have is because, all the deep-rooted fear associated with the topic. You'll notice that the more fear there is associated with the topic, the more controversial it is to speak the truth about it because it'll cause a lot of internal tension and a lot of people who are still swept up by the propaganda. And there is a lot of propaganda out there about vaccines. Probably the most out of any health issue there is because of how toxic vaccines are, right? It's only about a $30 billion a year industry, but the injection of heavy metals into our bodies and how they screw up our nervous system and our immune system and not only screw up our physical genetics, but literally dampen our spiritual abilities, our abilities to be beings of light, is why they're so propagated, right? Cancer is over $100 billion a year industry, and what are some of the biggest cancer-causing things we know of? That right there, the shots. So it's one reason why vaccines are going to be the unraveling of it all, and secondly is because of all the disclosures coming out about them. Within the past couple years, right, there has been so many people having the courage to speak up about this issue, and it has been awesome. And I think it's only going to I know it will only get more exposure, more exponential truth out there. It all began in 2014, right, when a man named Dr. William Thompson began blowing the whistle. This man was a senior scientist at the CDC. Right? And he came out saying that he literally botched a study showing no link between MMR and autism. He said, we completely sanitized some data that showed a link between vaccines and autism. And then they published a study and said that there was no link. So they completely altered the data. And this is more of a common practice than people want to admit to themselves. So we had him come out. We had literally a documentary called Vaxxed made about this guy that pretty much swept the nation. And, Robert De Niro wasn't allowed to show it at his film festival. And from this documentary that was made and the publicity about it, it gave a lot of other medical professionals the courage to speak up. Go ahead and go on Facebook, and if you don't like any pages that are associated with Vaxxed, do it because they have so many videos. There's like 4 or 5 different groups I'm in, or pages I like, I should say, that they have all kinds of testimony on video from people, from military whistleblowers to just family doctors to scientists. I mean, it's so good to see this Fire Ignite. So do that. Go like those pages. Inform yourself more about this topic. And not only are we seeing a lot of researchers discuss their direct experience with it, but we're seeing more studies take place, more independent studies take place. Just within the last couple weeks, we had a huge study come out of Italy where a scientific group studied 44 different vaccines with a brand new electron microscope that's never been studied on vaccines before, and they found that 43 out of 44 vaccines they studied were all contaminated with nanoparticles, metal compounds, and a bunch of shit that should not be in there. This is a huge study, and man, it is pretty disgusting what's really going on, because these things, let's be real, they were purposefully put in there by our human farmers. You can also look into a man named Dr. Garth Nicholson. I'll link this stuff down below. He began blowing the whistle a few years ago about these little bioengineered bacteria called mycoplasma that are in vaccines. And I won't get on a rant about that, but vaccines aren't, they're not meant to help us, I'll say. So we have all these whistleblowers coming out, and we also have a lot of fun stuff going on in the political sphere. I'm going to talk about Donald Trump for a sec, and I want you to hold all your political judgment about him. We're only going to talk about him in the vaccine issue. And you cannot deny that Donald Trump is being a complete badass about the vaccine issue, because he appointed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to head a vaccine safety commission to study vaccines. How freaking cool is that? Not only do we have that, but Donald Trump was just on a radio show, I think last week, where he said that the flu shot was one of the greatest medical scandals of all time. Man, that's beautiful to hear. You know, we won't get into anything else associated with Donald Trump. That could be a hour-long video just on itself. But man, it's really fun to have a president of the United States openly question vaccines. So it's only going to get more fun. This stuff is only going to get more and more exposed. So brush yourself up on all of this knowledge. That way, when people who are caught up by all the propaganda can't deny it anymore, you can inform them on what's really going on. And maybe you can share them this video to help them along with that process. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that video. Due to that deep-rooted nature of the vaccine issue in people's consciousness, all these disclosures coming out, soon people aren't going to be able to deny it, and it's really going to break their ego, and they're going to have to see the truth. So I'm going to keep reporting the truth. If you want to help me keep reporting the truth, check out my website. You know, I offer health coaching. You can donate on PayPal or Patreon, or just simply share these videos. I don't really care. I just want to help people. So thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting, and stay tuned.